Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Diamond Newsdesk. At 8, we bring you some of the latest stories featured on DiamondTVZambia.com. You can follow Diamond TV online on Facebook, or you can follow us on X at Diamond TV Zambia. The headlines. Coming up on the desk this evening, family of child who died post-circumcision procedure at Livingstone Livingstone Hospital appeals for funeral aid from government, and works on Kanyama flood mitigation project stalls as lawmaker questions use of 100 million kwacha infrastructure funds. And political parties wrap up campaigns ahead of Thursday's Mfuwe Parliamentary by-election in Muchinga province.
The Newsdesk at 8 with Cheswa Kapasa.
Thank you for joining us. The family of a 3-year-old boy who died following a failed male circumcision procedure is calling on the government to take responsibility for funeral expenses. Loretta Njekwa, an aunt of the late child, says the family has yet to receive any formal communication from hospital authorities regarding the incident. The case centers on Livingstone University Teaching Hospital, which has been accused of medical negligence in connection with the death of Wekavazio Makas Mansinza during the circumcision procedure. Earlier, Livingstone District Commissioner Eunice Nawa visited the grieving family to express condolences, but refrained from issuing a public statement on the matter.
Grief deepens as the family of 3-year-old Wekavazio Makas Mansinza mourns his death, the result of an alleged failed circumcision procedure carried out at the Livingstone University Teaching Hospital. Amid the sorrow, another challenge emerges: food shortages at the funeral house, where the family says no government official, aside from an earlier visit from Livingstone District Commissioner Eunice Nawa, has reached out since the incident occurred.
So tembekeza government koswana bwere kono tembekeza kuti batitandizire pano pamaliro bokudya vasira tilibe sesa konzekera kuti tizankana maliro aya. So tembekeza government titandize olo kubaringa tikabwe na kushita program wa bari koswana bwere pano. So tembekeza coffin kuchoka government na transport.
All the hospitals confirmed receipt of the family's complaint. Investigations remain ongoing. The family has maintained its demands, calling on the government to meet funeral expenses.
So we're kindly asking for help. We don't even know how we're going to do this because, as in for now, my elder sister, the mother to the deceased, she's not working. So we're kindly pleading to the government, to the hospital, Central Hospital here in Livingstone. We don't know how you're going to help us out. We're kindly asking for your help, as in for now, because immediately we don't even have any food, no transport, no coffin money, nothing, as in nothing.
For now, burial plans remain uncertain, but one thing is clear: the family is standing firm, seeking justice and accountability for a life lost far too soon. Gabriel Josas Mova, Diamond News, Southern Zambia.
Drainage construction works in Lusaka's Kanyama compound have stalled and raising concerns among residents. The project, which commenced last year, is meant to address perennial flooding in the constituency. Kanyama Member of Parliament Monty Chinkudi has confirmed that the contractor, the Zambia National Service, have not been seen on site for months despite being assigned to the project. He says he has since written to the Ministry of Local Government seeking clarity on how the 100 million kwacha released in 2024 for infrastructure development was used.
Get inside so that you should.
Every rainy season, the people of Kanyama compound brace for disaster. Located in one of Lusaka's lowest lying areas, this densely populated compound is no stranger to knee-deep flood waters, destroyed homes, and waterborne disease outbreaks. This year, there was hope. President Hakainde Hichilema directed the commencement of long overdue drainage works in the area, a move welcomed by residents desperate for lasting solutions. And for a while, there was visibility irreversible activity. Trenches were dug, machinery rolled in, expectations rose. But today, that hope is sinking, just like Kanyama's waterlogged streets. With just months before the next rainy season begins, frustration is growing.
What I can say to the government to help us, because the drainage system, as you can see, they have not started working, and the rainy season is nearby. So we are asking the government to help us, because people are dying, people are shifting the places. In fact, choleras, when rainy season comes, choleras are there. So we are asking the government to help us to clean the drainages, so that at least we are safe. They protect the children, they protect also us.
What we go through here during rainy season is so devastating. This entire area gets flooded. I run a small business here. It is so pathetic when it's that time of the year, because I can't imagine us going through the same old thing that we go through every rainy season. I hope government looks into this.
So the government
And Kanyama Member of Parliament Monty Chinkoli has raised the alarm. The MP also questioned the prolonged absence of ZNS contractors who were assigned to the project.
As you may be aware, last year, somewhere in August, the government allocated Kanyama with 100 million as first phase into achieving what needed to be achieved. So we chose the drainages to mitigate on the floods that we normally have each time there are rains. So now the works, as you saw, everyone saw that the government started working on the drainages. National Service was contracted to do that. Now, for whatever reasons, they have somehow kept quiet. So what I want to establish is I've written to the Minister of Government to explain to me as to how that 100 million was utilized, and if at all it has been exhausted, have we applied to the government so that they can give us another amount as phase 2, so that we do a complete overhaul of Kanyama in terms of drainages. So now I'm still waiting for the response from the minister, who promised me that he will go to give me a response tomorrow, Thursday, or probably next week. So let us wait and see how we receive the response from the minister.
Now, residents fear the worst. Another season of preventable flooding, another round of suffering. As storm clouds gather over Lusaka once again, the question in Kanyama is no longer when it will rain, but whether anyone will be held accountable before it does. Elfimwale Shampande, Diamond News.
The three political parties contesting the Mfue parliamentary by-election in Lavushimanda district of Machinga province have officially concluded their campaigns in line with the electoral guidelines. The Socialist Party, the New Congress Party and the United Party for National Development have each expressed confidence that their candidate will emerge victorious in what is expected to be a tightly contested race for the Mfue seat. All 36 polling stations across Lavushimanda district are scheduled to open at exactly 6 hours on Thursday, 7th August 2025, marking the start of voting. The Commission of Zambia has confirmed that preparations have been completed for the Shavo Ward and Kashiba Ward by-elections scheduled to take place in Nchelenge District and in Mpongwe respectively. Luapula Province Electoral Commission Officer Kambinga Nondo disclosed that 42 polling staff have been deployed across the 7 polling stations in Nchelenge. The Commission has urged all stakeholders involved in the electoral process to uphold the integrity of the election by conducting themselves professionally.
The final activity in the build-up to the 2 by-elections in Nchelenge's Luapula province and in Mpongwe's Copper Belt has been the deployment of poll staff ahead of polling day tomorrow. In Nchelenge, all essential verification of election materials has been completed. Post staff have also sworn an oath before the Electoral Commission, pledging to uphold the credibility of the election before being dispatched to their respective polling stations. The Commission's message remains consistent, a call for professionalism and integrity from all stakeholders involved in the electoral process.
The expectation of the Electoral Commission of Zambia is that all the stakeholders involved are supposed to adhere to what they have been briefed. The media, we want you to continue with your professionalism, informing the community, encouraging them to come tomorrow and vote. What we encourage also the community, the voters themselves, is to get ready, prepare their voters card and NRC, and come to the polling station and choose the leader of their choice. In terms of the police, we expect, as usual, they are professional, and we expect that they will be able to police the elections throughout.
Meanwhile, police in the region have assured the safety of all participants, including accredited media personnel covering the by-election.
Our officers are alert and equal to the task. So far, so good. No violence has been experienced. Yeah, they've just been minor reports which we have dealt with, and we hope things will go just like this. Just like we do always, we are ready to work with our colleagues from the media. We create good environment for them. We protect them as well, because it's our duty.
In Mpongwe on the Copper Belt, Kashiwa Ward returning officer says the commission is confident that the trained staff will conduct a credible election in line with the guidelines provided during the training.
Let's remember where we are going. We have an important assignment to undertake. Our conduct will speak to the credibility of this election. Let's go there. We are representing a very serious institution, and we don't want to bring its credibility in question. For those of us who have got other plans, let's suppress those plans. We are only going there for one reason: to conduct the elections and bring the correct result.
With all systems in place, the stage is now set for voters in Shabo and Kashiwa wards to elect their next representatives. Diamond TV will be on the ground on the Copper Belt with Lavmo Sondashi, while I report on the developments in Inchelenge's Shabo ward. Kalombe Kapambwe, Diamond News.
Zambia and Malawi have been added to a controversial U.S. visa bond pilot program, requiring some tourists and business visitors to pay up to $15,000 to enter the United States. And starting August 20th, applicants for U.S. B1, B2 visitor visas from both countries may be asked to post a refundable bond of $5,000, $10,000 or $15,000 based on their travel risk profile as assessed by a U.S. consular officer. Now, according to a notice published by the State Department, the 12-month pilot program aims to curb visa overstays or where screening and vetting information is considered deficient. The move follows a U.S. Department of Homeland Security report showing high visa overstays rates, with Zambia recorded an 11.1% in 2023. However, paying the bond does not guarantee visa approval, as full refunds will apply only if the traveler departs the U.S. on time, the visa expires, unused, or entry is denied. In June 2025, Foreign Minister Malambo Haimbe told Parliament that the U.S. had raised three key concerns, including weak passport security, challenges deporting undocumented Zambians, and poor cooperation on identity verification. The Diamond Newsdesk at 8, we take a look at the weather and later our editorial comment, The Diamond Insight.
This is your Diamond Insight on America's price tag on Zambian passports. Starting August 20, 2025, Zambia and Malawi become the first nations on the African continent whose citizens must post a staggering $15,000 refundable deposit before entering the USA on a tourist visa. At the current exchange rate, this amounts to over 337,000 kwacha, more than many Zambians earn in several years. This is not just a fee, it's an economic barrier that sends a loud, troubling message about how certain nations are being selectively treated. The U.S. Department of State claims the policy targets countries with high visa overstay rates, weak passport control systems, and limited cooperation on deportations. But here is the glaring inconsistency. Countries like Brazil, India, or Colombia, where visa overstays are statistically far higher, aren't subject to the same rule. Is this really about security and immigration, or does it reflect deeper, possibly discriminatory biases in global diplomacy? This move is not just an insult, it's a wake-up call. It reflects how Zambia is being perceived globally, not as a rising partner with untapped potential, but as a high-risk exporter of economic migrants. That perception is partially our fault. For too long, we failed to build systems that retain talent, reward innovation, and offer hope to our youth. Every year, brilliant Zambians queue for visas, chasing a dream they feel their country cannot offer. But let's pause and consider the cost. 337,800 kwacha could fund a startup. It could build a small house. It could empower a youth cooperative or bring clean water to a rural school. Yet many will part with it just for a shot at entry, knowing full well it might never be refunded. Rather than merely protest this policy, Zambia must introspect. What has gone so wrong with our economy, governance, and leadership that we've made immigration the gold standard of ambition? The U.S. is free to protect its borders, but we must stop exporting desperation and start cultivating opportunity. Zambia is not poor, it is mismanaged. It is time to invest in ourselves, not in impossible dreams abroad. Let's stop begging for visas and start building a nation worth staying in.
Business News is brought to you by Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank. Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank, making tomorrow possible.
It's time for the Business News Update. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Coming up this evening, Zambia's debt falls below 100% of GDP for the first time in 7 years, and ZNBS declares 15 million kwacha dividends amid strong financial performance. That's not all that's coming up this evening from the Business News Update. We have more from the construction news as well as the commodity prices, and some mining news is what you should expect this evening. I'll be right back with more. Now, Zambia's debt-to-GDP ratio is expected to fall to 91.1% by the end of 2025, and this is according to a new IMF report. This marks the first time in over 7 years that the figure drops below 100%. The International Monetary Fund also projects a further decline to 69.4% by 2027, indicating progress in fiscal consolidation and economic reforms. Finance Minister Dr. Stumem Sokotwani says the report confirms the success of the government's restructuring efforts and improved economic management. Political economists as well, Muyasani Munga, has urged the continued focus on development while investing more in health and education to ensure inclusive growth.
Zambia's debt levels are showing signs of improvement for the first time in over 7 years. According to the latest report from the International Monetary Fund, the country's debt-to-GDP ratio is expected to fall to 91.1% by the end of 2025. The debt-to-GDP ratio is a key indicator used to measure how much a country owes compared to the size of its economy. When the ratio is high, especially above 100%, it means the country owes more than it produces in a year, putting pressure on public finances and investor confidence. In Zambia's case, the debt-to-GDP ratio has been above 100% since 2018, but the new figures suggest a turning point. The IMF projects that the ratio will continue to drop, reaching 69.4% by 2027. Finance and National Planning Minister Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane says projections show that Zambia's economic reforms and government's debt restructuring strategy are beginning to work.
7 years, this will be the first time that the debt-to-GDP ratio will fall below 100%, and it will be just about 69% by 2027. What is the debt-to-GDP ratio? Debt, of course, is ngongole, or how much you owe. In the economics profession, the debt or your indebtedness to the GDP as a ratio is one of the measures of determining whether your indebtedness situation is improving or not.
Political economist Musayani Monga says the positive trends reflect growing confidence in Zambia's economic management, but cautions that the country must stay the course.
Now, with the IMF reporting that the ratio is expected to fall around 91%, which, by the way, makes it the first time it has dropped below 100% since around 2017, we see that the country is beginning to feel the benefits of the debt restructuring and constricted fiscal management measures that were put in place by the government. So what does this mean now for the average Zambian? It means there is now more room for the government to invest in essential public services, including health, education, and social protection.
And economist Trevor Hambai adds that while the outlook is encouraging, Zambia must maintain discipline and avoid slipping back into unsustainable borrowing.
Employment creation, as well as ensuring that we've got a conducive business environment that creates liquidity within the country for us to be able to increase productivity and drive economic growth. At the moment, this is missing from the ordinary Zambian. And the key issues that you see is that, yes, we've seen positives around growth within the economy, but this growth in the economy has been driven by the top level, which is the macro area, where the multinationals are generating additional revenue and income in the country, which is not exactly trickling down to the ordinary Zambian.
As Zambia moves to bring its debt under control, experts stress that long-term stability would depend not just on numbers, but on consistent policy, accountability, and economic growth that benefits the people. Rachel Mumba for Diamond News.
Moving on, the Zambia National Building Society, ZNBS, has declared 15 million kwacha in dividends to the government for the 2024 to 2025 financial year. Board Chairperson Geoffrey Samukonga credited strategic leadership and prudent management for the society's performance despite a tough economic environment. Finance Minister Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane, who received the check, praised ZNBS for posting profits for 4 consecutive years, calling it a model for other public entities. Part of the profits will fund a Tier 1 core banking system and modernize ICT infrastructure to boost efficiency and service delivery.
The Zambia National Building Society has declared a dividend check amounting to 15 million kwacha for the 2024-2025 financial year. ZNBS Board Chairperson Geoffrey Samukonga says the move underscores the society's ongoing commitment to delivering value to its shareholders while reflecting growing confidence in the institution's financial stability.
But the beginning was very rough. However, our society has demonstrated resilience through innovation and prudent management. Given the strategic foresight and the hard work of our team, the team you see here of hard-working young men and women, we have achieved strong performance and sustainable growth. Today's dividend payout is both a celebration, and these achievements are a testament that the trust and support you have given us as shareholders is really commendable.
The dividend check was officially handed over to Minister of Finance and National Planning, Dr. Stumbeko Msukotwane, who has commended the institution for its consistency.
You've made respectable profit. The building society has made respectable profit, 186 million kwacha. The decision to deliver a dividend check of 15 million is deliberate so that in this particular instance, more money is plowed back into the business.
Yes.
That's, for me, there is no problem. I want to encourage you to do that because when you invest, I know that at some point in the future, the dividend check again is going to grow. So it was very prudent of you to decide to retain most of the money, to upgrade your IT system. That, for me, is a good decision.
And sharing performance highlights for the year, ZNBS Managing Director Mildred Mutesa has revealed that the society recorded a profit of 186.5 million kwacha in 2024.
The basis upon which this dividend was declared by your board. We're happy to say that we've continued to record year-on-year growth of about 15% on our balance sheet. We're now officially sitting at around 3.3 billion at the moment. Our mortgage book continues to post significant growth. Last year we grew 21%, which is the mandate of the society to ensure that we continue to deliver affordable housing to the Zambian people. We're also happy to indicate that our total loan book, including unsecured loan products, which are designed to customers who may not have title deeds but still building in one way or the other, grew significantly by 17%, and our total book now sits at about 1.9 billion kwacha.
As it posts yet another year of strong performance, the Zambia National Building Society says it remains firmly committed to sustainable growth, innovation, and long-term value creation. Rachel Mumba for Diamond News.
Let's take a look at how the kwacha is performing as we focus on the exchange rate. As of close of business, the kwacha now buying at 23 kwacha 7 ngwe and selling at 23 kwacha 46 ngwe. These are average commercial rates for today, the 6th of August 2025. Coming up shortly, we have the construction commodity items. Now, from the construction commodity items, we focus on this hammer drill demolition speed case. And for this particular one, you need exactly 2,250 kwacha to purchase it. But there's more that you can utilize even as you're getting into that work, that construction work. You can get this real long tape, 300 feet worth of it. It is going for 1,064 kwacha and 49 ngwe. Those are your average, those are your construction commodity prices. I beg your pardon. We take a break, and on the other side, we focus on the food and non-food items from the commodity prices. Let's start off with the food items as we focus on the commodity prices. For a kg of beef, you need 110 kwacha. 2 kg of sugar, in between 67 to 70 kwacha gets you that. And you need in between 35 to 37 kwacha to get a kg of sugar. 89 kwacha for a 2.5 kg pack of flour. You can also get an akonde rice for 5 kg worth of it. You need in between 175 to 190. In between 95 to 115 kwacha, you get yourself a tray of eggs. And in between 164 to 180, that's 2.5 liters worth of cooking oil. 5 liters worth of cooking oil is going for in between 260 to 300 kwacha. And a 10 kg bag of breakfast millet meal in between 130 to 150. In between 260 to 310, that's a 25 kg bag of breakfast millet meal. We also have roller millet meal there that you can purchase a 10 kg bag worth of it in between 100 to 120 kwacha. In between 225 to 240 kwacha, that's 25 kg worth of roller millet meal. Those are the food items. We focus on the non-food items and start off with 10 rolls of toilet paper at 85 kwacha. In between 37 to 40 kwacha, that's 175 grams of toothpaste and bar of multi-purpose soap. In between 35 to 45 kwacha, 500 grams worth of washing powder. In between 40 to 45 kwacha, in between 115 to 125 kwacha, that's 1.5 kg worth of washing powder. And we have 3.5 kg worth of washing powder going for in between 220 to 265 kwacha. And a bar of bathing soap in between 19 to 47 kwacha. And finally, you can get yourself 750 mils of liquid hand washing soap at exactly 45 kwacha. Those are the commodity prices for food and non-food items. We'll take a break. The construction news is coming up shortly.
Business News was brought to you by Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank. Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank, making tomorrow possible.
It's now time for some construction news, and this is what you should expect tonight. Nkambika Community School receives new classroom block. Let's get straight into the details of the story. A 1x3 classroom block has been handed over to Nkambika Community School in Mazabuka District, constructed using the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. Meanwhile, two teachers at the said school, who are the school founders, have raised concern after being asked to stop working by the newly appointed head teacher, citing a lack of resources. However, speaking during the official handover of the classroom block, Mazabuka Member of Parliament, Gary Nkombo, through the District Education Board Secretary, recommended that the volunteer teachers be considered for recruitment.
Make sure you make them in photocopy form. Because what you have done is really fitting into the dream of our president. When the president said we are going to use CDF to make sure that the children are back in class, you are sitting right at the heart of his aspirations. Because of that, carry your photocopies and take them to the Teaching Service Commission and personally lobby for you and your colleagues. How many are you here? 2 of you.
During the handover of a 1x3 classroom block at Nkambika Community School in Mazabuka District of Southern Province, which was done by Mazabuka Central Member of Parliament Gary Nkombo, emotional moments unfolded when one of the volunteer teachers quickly approached the MP, presenting her credentials and pleading for a permanent teaching position. However, she, along with 2 other volunteer teachers, had recently been verbally instructed to stop working by the newly appointed head teacher, allegedly due to lack of resources to cover their salaries.
And founders of the school by Honorable Gary Nkombo. From that time up to date, nothing has happened yet. Then with the teacher, that head teacher stepped aside. She said that she will not continue with us because the school does not have funds for voluntary teachers.
She has since appealed to the government and local leaders to intervene and help resolve the matter.
She just told us that we should stop teaching since there are no funds there at the school. So I'm appealing to the government and all the local leaders of Mazabuka to hear me out, help me out. I'm the founder of that school. I've been volunteering for that school for 5 years now.
Another member involved in the founding of Nkambika Community School expressed disappointment over the situation, calling for immediate intervention by relevant authorities.
So, unfortunately, we don't know what has happened to her. We are just called to say, I'm now dropping out all the volunteer teachers. So, not knowing that there is someone who is coming to being replaced. So now I'm wondering why.
And when contacted for a comment, the head teacher, identified as Caroline Mwao, stated that the teachers in question were not qualified. They claimed that Ms. Imenda, one of the affected volunteers, strongly denied. The head teacher defended her decision, citing adherence to government education standards and explaining that the volunteers had previously been advised to further their training. Ms. Mwao also disclosed that upon her arrival at the school, there were no basic teaching materials, and she had to use government grants to procure essentials such as books. Helga Chibwe, Damo News, Mazabuka District in Southern Province.
Well, that's the construction news. Let's quickly move on and take a look at what's coming up from the mining news.
Mining News, sponsored by First Quanta Minerals Limited, operating Kansanshi Mining PLC, and FQM Trident Limited.
Now, coming up this evening from the mining news, illegal gold mining is a concern for Muchinga youth, but we also have the mineral commodity prices, which will be coming up shortly. But for now, I'll be giving you the details on this story in a little bit.
When I had the opportunity, everything I imagined it to be from a cultural point of view, it was. And I've been very privileged for the last 9 years to be part of this environment and this culture, and I truly hope that it's something that we can continue to develop and grow on as a company into the future. I'm very fortunate now to be involved in the maintenance care program. The maintenance care program has been launched by First Quantum in 2022. The fundamentals behind the care program rest on 4 pillars, and those 4 pillars are about world-class people deploying world-class skills, custodians of world-class assets, operating at world-class standards. So what is so exciting about this new strategic intent is that it's going to focus on an area in the mining process that typically has always been driven by lagging metrics.
Now, small-scale miners in Muchinga province have voiced concern over the lack of benefits from illegal gold mining operations in their communities. Oliver Sichawa, who mined illegally at Kanyelele, said he saw little gain and left after learning of looming state security intervention. He blamed the absence of licenses, equipment and market access, while also warning that an influx of foreign miners threatens local opportunities. And David Nyambili supports the removal of illegal miners but calls for more awareness on legal procedures to help locals operate safely.
A growing number of young people in Muchinga province have ventured into mining since gold deposits were discovered. 25-year-old Oliver Sichawa of Chinsali last year joined the small-scale mining activities at Kanyelele in Mpika with the hope of changing his financial status. Oliver left the mine and turned to mobile money for ends meet for fear of state security whom he alleges were about to be deployed to the mining site. He shares his experience. Among the requirements that one needs to have when going to the mine, you need to have a shovel, a pick, and those metal plates and cups. And I found thousands of people. The work is quite involving. Once you dig and you suspect that the soil has some gold, you have to pack it in sacks and carry it on your shoulder. But what made me come back from the mine? We received rumors that the state police would be coming in to chase illegal miners. He says young people stand a great chance of turning their lives around if issues of licenses, market access and manpower were addressed. The problem is lack of access to markets. We depended on foreigners to buy from us. But from what I observed, I think they used to steal from us because they had special gadgets which we did not have. Given an opportunity, I'll still go back and engage into mining. But what I would want is for government to ensure that we are well protected so that we can operate in a legal and safe manner. Other Chinsali youths desire an opportunity in the mining sector.
As long as nampata papers ya mine.
Need to heighten sensitization on the requirements for one to get into mining. That way, we avoid instances where
people think the government is working against them. When we have mines, it is one opportunity that young people can get into. It is the opposite. Young people are being sidelined. Then we are not benefiting, and it is working to our disadvantage. Mining activities are taking place in Mpika and Shwangandu districts, an economic activity with potential to open up the province for investment. Cecilia Kayamprokoso, Diamond News, Chinsali, Mchinga Province.
Well, that wraps up the mining news, but let's quickly conclude with the mineral commodity prices.
Mining news, sponsored by First Quanta Minerals Limited, operating Kansanshi Mining PLC, and FQM Trident Limited.
Now, from the mineral commodity prices, we have 4 minerals closing off in a positive and 2 closing off in a negative. We start off with aluminium, which closed off with a positive price of $2,562.50 US, and we have copper as well. They're closing off in a negative price of $9,638.50 US. Zinc closed off in a positive, and the closing price there is $2,758 US. Nickel closing off in a negative with a closing price of $15,024 US. Lead closed off as well in a positive with a closing price of $1,973.50 US. And finally, tin did close off in a positive as well with the positive closing price of $33,256 US. Those are the mineral commodity prices. We take a break. We have more coming up.
Mining news, sponsored by First Quanta Minerals Limited, operating Kansanshi Mining PLC, and FQM Trident Limited.
Welcome back. Residents of Gundu village in Kazungula district in southern province have continued to depend on water bowsers due to prolonged access challenges. The community has been grappling with a failed water reticulation system and a problem that has persisted for years. Residents have now voiced frustration over the delayed response and warning that the crisis may worsen during the upcoming dry season if urgent action is not taken.
In Gundu village of Kazungula district, southern Zambia, water has become a daily struggle. With taps running dry and boreholes unreliable, residents now depend on water bowsers, trucks delivering the most basic human need, one trip at a time. The crisis stems from a failed water reticulation system that has affected the community for years.
Choveni aba wesene dani chichindechia kamba kuti tasinchi aba wesene choteti twalangirizia maraka sinyeka manja urute tasinopanga makioski.
Promises of repair have come and gone, but the situation remains unchanged. Frustrated villagers say the delay in fixing the system is pushing them to the brink and warn the crisis could worsen as the scorching summer months approach.
Amanzi atishupiddenga tuimama laini ya oko mumunzi kuya kumatangi otingakoteka manzi anga. Nodati tugwasirize kuti gwezi zinthu zitarike kuzwa manzi kuti vakatutekerawo afifi.
They are calling on authorities to act before the burden becomes unbearable.
Jombo vakapangira kwaitoke kuzwarazwa but tazwimbwa ede kuzwa manzi. Jana sunwazwa junza takwe sometimes mumbura mbwa mumunzi azwa manzi mwaza kuno mbonyana mbumungu kuona.
Water situation in Mukuni, it's unfortunate. I think we have tried. The development of our country, like I said, will involve the participation of everyone. Government, through the leadership of President Akande Chilema, has given us the CDF. We have the experts. We have us, the leaders, to run with this development on the ground. But then the participation of our contractors is, they have to do their part.
Gabriel Jisas Muwa, Diamond News, Southern Zambia.
Residents of the research center area in Mazabuka district in southern Zambia are calling for the urgent rehabilitation of the local police post, which they describe as being in a state of disrepair. Community members have told Diamond News that the dilapidated condition of the facility may be contributing to the absence of police officers in the area. They have cited a recent surge in criminal activities, including attacks on members of the public and health workers at the nearby research clinic, some of which have occurred as early as 18 hours. Meanwhile, Sioi Ward Councillor Keith Kabezo has acknowledged the poor state of the facility and has urged the police command to ensure a more consistent presence in the area, especially following the recent installation of a solar-powered water reticulation system at the clinic infrastructure that could become a target for theft.
The poor state of the research police post in Mazabuka district of Southern Province has raised serious concerns among residents, who believe the facility's condition may be the reason for the continued absence of the police officers in the area. They are now calling on government to urgently intervene and rehabilitate the police post. We are appealing for the extension of operating hours at the local police post, which currently functions only in the morning. The absence of police presence during the evening and night time has led to the rise in criminal activities and disturbances that affect the safety of the well-being of residents. The residents say the lack of police presence has led to an increase in theft and other criminal activities, making the area unsafe, especially during the evening hours. Speaking to Diamond News, some community members revealed that there has been noticeable rise in criminal cases, including attacks on residents and health workers at the nearby research clinic, some occurring as early as 18 hours. There have been multiple reports of thieves and other criminal elements taking advantage of the lack of security at night. These activities have at times escalated to the point of harassing staff at the nearby health center. Others who prefer to remain anonymous added that in emergencies, residents utilize a phone number mounted on the outside wall of the police post, which they say is unreliable. Meanwhile, Sioi Ward Councillor Keith Kabezo acknowledged the dilapidated state of the police post and echoed the residents' concerns.
The appeal to the police is, since here we have an incinerator, we have a water connection connected with the solar panels and other durable items, I would like to request the police to avail themselves here. We have a police post here. Let the police be always available so that at least we curb with theft or crimes of theft which might be found here. Yes, we have a police here, but I would like to request the police, since we have got this facility, at least we have to work together, the community and the police, so that we work together and guard this facility jealously.
He urged the police to maintain a more visible presence in the community, especially following the recent installation of a water reticulation system with solar panels at a research clinic, assets that are now at risk of being stolen due to the lack of security. Helga Chibwe, Diamond News, Mazabuka district in Southern Province.
Well, that item wraps up this edition of the Diamond News Desk at 8 p.m. I'd like to say thank you so much for making time to join us on this edition. You can visit our website on diamondtvzambia.com. On Facebook, it is Diamond TV Online, but also you can follow us on X at Diamond TV Zambia. My name is Cheswa Kapasa. Good night.